All right, what's going on, everybody? This is Mike Hughes from Mike on the Mic. I'm sitting here today with Chicago Cubs top 2 prospect Brennen Davis, who's also on the top 100 list of the MLB top prospect list. Brennen, thank you for being here. This means the world. It is one of the best days of the podcast so far and of the history of it. Having you here with us today is awesome. It's honestly insane to even think this is possible.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I'm glad to be here.
So I'm just gonna get it right off the bat. I just want to ask you.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, one of the craziest MLB seasons in the world, without a doubt. And honestly, I don't even know how to put it into words for the major leagues itself, but for the guys like you in the minors who didn't really get a chance to fully be able to play or have a season, what was it like for you to have to develop and continue to grow even without having gameplay, live action gameplay is what I should say?
So I was actually pretty lucky. I got to go to Site B, so I got to be at the alternate site, so I still got to get some kind of work in. I mean, it's no for 140 games, but I got over 200 at bats, and I got to work with my coordinators every day. So I mean, I was lucky.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, here's a bigger question for you, and it's really crazy because me and you were talking about it the other day, and I didn't really know how confidently I would be able to ask this question, but now it seems Kyle Schwarber just signed a $10 million one-year deal. And it seems like that left field spot is open. And Albert Almora is gone, and so many others are gone. I just wanted to ask you, and it's not me saying, do you expect to play right away? Are you going to be on the roster? But does it change your way of thinking going into this spring training, going into this year, and how you're going to play? Or is it similar to how you usually just go about your day and your game?
I mean, there's definitely a position in left field to be won, but it doesn't really change the way I go about my business because I compete to win a spot every time I play. So just because there's a legit opening now doesn't mean that I'm going to change how I go about what I do, you know?
Right.
You can't play because there's a chance now. You gotta play the way you play every day.
Right. Makes complete sense. Now, something I really wanted to ask you. I've been watching your game, and if you don't know, we are the same age. We would be in the same graduating class, which is insane to me to think that all these guys are about to be in the pros like Zion and so many others. But I've been watching your game for a long time now, and it speaks for itself. You can hit anywhere in the lineup, I think 1 through 9, but with guys like Rizzo, Baez, Bryant, and so many others, if you're in this lineup, where do you see yourself comfortable in? Obviously, as a rookie, it would fluctuate and it's not really up to you. But for you, where do you think you shine the most?
I think I would shine the most as a 2, 3, or 5.
Right.
Wherever they.
Because I'm trying to like figure it out, and I'm watching these highlights and I'm watching all your tape, and I'm like, man, this kid can be a leadoff. This kid can be your cleanup. He could be anything you want him to be. And I was like,
they wanted me to. I just haven't had a lot of leadoff experience. Right. Maybe a few games there.
Right. Well, a lot of them on the lineup right now haven't. So I think that's a very open spot for you. But Another thing I wanted to ask you, like I said, only being 21 years old, being drafted by the Chicago Cubs, the history, the franchise, and being somewhere as historic as Wrigley Field, what was that moment like for you? What did it feel like? And how do you process everything? How does it make you feel?
Yeah. I mean, to be drafted by the Chicago Cubs is, I mean, you already know. It's just awesome.
Yeah.
To be in an organization like this, to be able to have a chance to play at Wrigley Field one day, it's just unbelievable. And the icing on the cake was I grew up 25 minutes from their spring training complex. So, I mean, my first year in the AL, I was living at home, going to play baseball for work. So it's just it was awesome. I couldn't be more happy what happened with the draft.
Yeah, I mean, it was insane. And watching that draft, I know it's not the same as the NFL, but I do follow it. And seeing us pick someone up like you, it was one of those things where I was like, it's more interesting than not, because with the outfield already as packed as it is, I was like, this is a future thing. And I was just so excited to see you being picked up by the team. And I'm hoping for years to come. I mean, hopefully one day I get to give you a call and tell you congratulations on a World Series, because those prospects out there, they're pretty talented. And to get more onto the prospects and the minor league side of things, I wanted to ask you, there's a lot of people that don't know what go into the minors, what go into making your next Chris Bryant or your Mike Trout or Tatis Jr. or something like that. Who's a coach in the minors right now that influences your game and is really that guy who helps bring guys to the next level that you've noticed so far?
That's a tough one. I think it's a big collective because like no one guy has done it all for one person. Like, you know what I mean? Everybody
Right,
has
I get
different
you.
everybody, but like collectively, I think the Cubs do an awesome job at developing and getting guys ready to compete in the big leagues.
Definitely, definitely. Now, something else I really wanted to ask you, and it's more of like a personal choice. Like you can respond to this however you want to respond to it. But there's a lot of things people could say about you, whether it's your bat power, your speed, your ability in the outfield. But in your own words, how would you say what separates you from the rest of the people that, you fight for a spot through every day? What separates you from the pack?
I mean, I just like to think of myself as a guy who's going to go out there and give you the same thing every day. Going to be consistent, going to go compete his butt off. He's going to back his teammates up, and that's kind of the kind of guy I want to be. So, I mean, to say there's not people with more skill or sharper tools than me, that's not true. But I'm going to go out there and I'm going to give you everything I got every day, and that's all I can do.
Right, right. That's awesome. I mean, that's one of those leadership qualities, and like I said, only 21 years old and you already have that mindset. I think that's something really special moving forward, and I think that's going to help you develop.
But,
Something else I really kind of just wanted to ask you. And I know you haven't had that much time with the Cubs so far, but prospects, the other guys in the minors with you, who's somebody that you think you have a fond relationship with? Who's somebody that you think like down the road this is going to be your boy?
I mean, all my boys are that I play with are my boys. That's just
Right.
how. But I'm rooming with Ryan Jensen right now. I've roomed with Cole Roeder, Cam Sanders, Cole Franklin, DJ Artis. I roomed with a bunch of guys, like just in Arizona, not even like traveling, like at our affiliates. So I mean, I have a really close connection with our 2018 draft class, and
Right.
we do everything together. Like those are the guys I go golfing with. Those are the guys that I go watch football with on Sundays. Those are my guys.
Right. And speaking of things you do that, I know we didn't talk about, there were some questions I wanted to ask you that, that weren't on the sheet. And I just wanted to say, some things we don't know about Brennen Davis. What would you say before games? Do you have any rituals? Do you have any things you eat? What are things you do outside of baseball that people may not know about you? Because there's a lot of people who know the list of people in the Cubs farm system, but they don't know them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I mean, pretty simple guy. Nothing really crazy before game. I like to keep. I don't like to have too crazy of like routines because then I feel like I have to follow them. So
Right.
I try to keep it as simple as possible. I'll usually right before I go play a game text my mom because I know she's watching on TV. So that kind of keeps me grounded, keeps my head clear. Um, and then just about me, I'm playing very mediocre golf currently this off season. So if anybody was wondering where my golf game was at, I'm also really into spike ball, sand volleyball, and pickleball right now.
Oh, that's
So if
dope.
there's anybody Scottsdale, the greater Scottsdale area that wants to get uh, their butt kicked, hit me up. Um,
Definitely.
Other than that, nothing. Fun guy. I like to have fun with my friends, joke around, play, laugh, be outside, enjoy nature.
Right. That's awesome. That's awesome. Um, and I'm not going to try to keep it too long. I know you just woke up. I know there's a lot going on probably for you. Just a couple more questions. I just wanted to ask for you, what is your goal going into the 2021 season and where do you see yourself for the future? Like how soon do you think um, you're going to continue to develop and what are things you want to work on more?
Yeah. So, I mean, my goal is the same as every year. I want to start somewhere and end somewhere higher. So, it doesn't matter where you're at. You got to play good wherever you are.
Right.
So, improving wise, I want to have a more mature approach at the plate and really show that I command the strike zone and take advantage of pitchers' mistakes and do damage and drive the ball. So, I mean, same goal I have every year.
Definitely.
And I think
Definitely.
if I do that and continue to progress in that direction, that's where I want to be, and that's what's gonna lead me to be a big leaguer.
I think that's an amazing approach to it. I think it's going to be completely successful for you. And all right, I'll leave it this one last final question for you. And I know it's a little too soon, premature to ask, but is there anybody who are you most excited to play with when you do make it to the big leagues? Now, obviously, you don't have to answer this question because no one really knows at this time who's going to be on the team and who's not. But if you were called up today, who's somebody that you would want to reach out to first or just build a connection with?
I think it'd be awesome to play outfield with Jason Hayward, and just because we have a little bit of connection previous to it, so just to be around a vet like that and a guy who's done it, and he's somebody that I look up to, so I think that would be awesome.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I'm not going to try to keep you here any longer than you have to be. Thank you for being on the show. Thank you for being a part of this, and I can't wait to be able to text you the one day when you finally make it to the league and be like, I know Brennen Davis, you know?
I appreciate it, man. Anytime.
All right. Thank you, Brennen.
Have a good one.